As football fans, we know how emotional it can be when our favourite players leave their clubs. Some transfers feel inevitable, while others hit us like a bolt from the blue. For whatever reasons, be it age, contract issues, or the desire for a new challenge, saying goodbye to players who've become legends is never easy. Let's take a look at 10 great players who are surprisingly on their way out. 10. Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema has been the cornerstone of Real Madrid's attack for years. The French striker was often overshadowed by the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. But once Ronaldo left, Benzema truly came into his own, leading Real Madrid to multiple Champions League titles and winning the Ballon d'Or in 2022. Benzema's ability to score, link up play, and control the tempo of games made him one of the best forwards in the world. But at 36 years old, he made a surprising move to Saudi Arabia, joining Al Ittihad in 2023. While many expected him to stay at Real Madrid and finish his career in Europe, it seemed like he was ready to take on a new challenge in the Middle East. With younger, hungry players like Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo now leading the line for Madrid, his time at the club was winding down. His departure to Saudi Arabia marks the end of an era, and though he may still be a star in the Middle East, his time at the top of European football is officially over. 9. Neymar Jr. Neymar Jr., once one of the most electrifying players in world football, is 32 years old and playing for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Neymar's move to the Saudi Pro League in 2023 marked a shift in his career as he left European football behind. While he's still a talented player, his physical decline and injury issues have significantly affected his performances. Neymar's time at Paris Saint-Germain showed that while he still has moments of brilliance, his consistency has faded. The move to Saudi Arabia represents a more relaxed phase in his career. And while he's likely to remain a star in the Pro League, it's unlikely that he will return to Europe's elite clubs. Neymar's best years are behind him, and his legacy in European football is slowly coming to a close. 8. Edinson Cavani. Edinson Cavani, once one of the top strikers in Europe, now finds himself in Argentina, playing for Boca Juniors. At 37 years old, the Uruguayan forward has seen better days, with his prime years spent scoring goals for PSG and Manchester United. Cavani's move to Boca Juniors seemed like a fresh start, but it's clear his best days are behind him. While he's still a capable striker, he's not the same dynamic player he once was. His impact in the Argentine league has been decent, but injuries and his slowing pace have taken their toll. He's not as sharp as he used to be, and the fierce competition in top European leagues is something he won't experience anymore. Boca Juniors is where Cavani is likely to finish his career, but with his age and decline in performance, it seems like the end of the road for his time in Europe's top leagues. 7. James Milner. James Milner, at 38 years old, has been a steady presence in the Premier League for almost 2 decades. Known for his versatility and work rate, Milner has played for top clubs like Leeds United, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester City, and Liverpool. At Liverpool, he's been a key figure under Jurgen Klopp, helping the club win the Premier League, Champions League, and other major trophies. His experience and leadership have made him a valuable asset, even if he wasn't always the star of the show. But as Milner enters the twilight of his career, it's clear that his pace and agility aren't what they once were. In the 2024 season, Milner is playing for Brighton after leaving Liverpool in the summer. While he's still capable of playing a role in the squad, especially in a leadership capacity, he's no longer the player who could dominate a midfield or take those dynamic runs that made him a key player in his prime. 6. Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne has been one of the best midfielders in the world for a few years now. Playing for Manchester City, De Bruyne has been the heart of their attack, creating assists and scoring goals like it's second nature. His passing ability is on another level, and he's been a key part of City's success under Pep Guardiola, helping them win Premier League titles and the Champions League. But at 33 years old, De Bruyne is starting to face more challenges. Injuries have started to slow him down, and he's missed some important games over the past few seasons. Manchester City is now filled with young, hungry players who are starting to take on more responsibility. Players like Jack Grealish and Julian Alvarez are stepping up in ways that allow City to be less reliant on De Bruyne. His passing vision is still brilliant, but his influence on big games is slowly fading. 5. Luka Modric. Luka Modric is a player who, despite his age, still seems to have something left in the tank. At 39 years old, the Croatian midfielder is still pulling the strings at Real Madrid. But even though he's been one of the best playmakers of his generation, it's clear that he's nearing the end of his incredible career. Modric has been the engine of Madrid's midfield for over a decade, winning multiple Champions League titles and a Ballon d'Or along the way. Still, Father Time catches up with everyone. Modric's performances are no longer as consistent as they once were, and younger players like Eduardo Camavinga and Jude Bellingham are now taking up more of the responsibility in Madrid's midfield. Modric has nothing left to prove, and although he's still a top-tier player, it's likely that this season or the next will be his last in Europe before he considers a move to a less demanding league. His retirement will mark the end of an era for both Real Madrid and Croatian football. 4. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos has always been one of the toughest defenders in football, but even the toughest players slow down eventually. The Spaniard centre-back, currently 38 years old and playing for Sevilla in Spain, has had an illustrious career with Real Madrid and the Spanish national team. Known for his aggressive tackles, leadership, and knack for scoring important goals, Ramos has been a key player for nearly 2 decades. However, injuries have started to take their toll on the veteran defender. Ramos has missed several games in recent years due to muscle problems, and while he still shows flashes of brilliance, he's no longer the same rock-solid defender he once was. His move to Sevilla marks a shift from the heights of European football where he dominated with Real Madrid. Though the club is still a respected one in La Liga, we can say it is a goodbye for Ramos at the top of the European game. 3. Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski is another name that has dominated European football over the last decade. The Polish striker, now playing for Barcelona, has made a name for himself as one of the best goal scorers in football. His record at Bayern Munich was simply ridiculous, and his move to Barcelona in 2022 was a big statement. But while Lewandowski is still one of the best strikers around, his age and the shift in Barcelona's focus are really starting to show. His experience is valuable, but his position in the starting lineup might not be as secure as it used to be. With players like Victor Roque and Lamine Yamal coming through the ranks, Lewandowski's days as the main man at Barcelona could be numbered. 2. Lionel Messi. After years of battling it out with Ronaldo for the title of the world's greatest footballer, Messi made a huge move in 2023, moving from the French league to the American dream. It was a shock to many, as no one expected Messi, still at the top of his game, to leave Europe for a less competitive league. Messi's move to the US has sparked debates. He's still performing at an elite level, dazzling fans with his dribbling and playmaking abilities, but the reality is, the MLS doesn't have the same level of competition that Messi faced in Spain, France, or internationally. Many argue that Messi has made his mark and is now winding down his career in a more relaxed environment. Still, his legacy as one of the greatest to ever play the game is untouchable, no matter where he is. 1. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, the man who's been breaking records for what feels like forever, is starting to show signs of slowing down. The Portuguese legend, now playing for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, has had one of the most incredible careers in football history. He's won multiple Ballon d'Ors, Champions League titles, and broken every record there is, including being the top scorer in the history of the Champions League and international football. But lately, after leaving Manchester United in late 2022 and joining Al Nassr, many fans wondered if he would fade away quietly. But Ronaldo has continued to play at a high level. Still, at 39 years old, his pace is slowing, and he's no longer the unstoppable force he once was. His time in Europe feels like a distant memory now. And while he is still a world-class player, his days at the top of European football are probably over. Will he continue to dominate in the Middle East for a few more years? Most likely, but Europe is behind him now, and that's a surprising thing for fans to come to terms with. Watching legends near the end of their careers is never easy, but their legacies will always inspire. The moments they've given us and the final ones still to come are always cherished.